Yeah, and the other key piece to that defensive line, and Brad Holmes emphasized it. He said, "Look, it's not that hard. It's not that easy. It's not that easy to go out and cultivate and add an elite defensive end." And the Lions always want to remind everybody that they believe that Aidan Hutchinson is elite. There's a belief, and he started to showcase that. Now, an injury definitely starts to, shake people's confidence a little bit in a player that is, a defensive player of the year candidate, but he suffered a significant injury, a leg injury. But as a reminder, and we put out at Lions on SI that Aiden's dealt with severe leg injuries before, and he dealt with it in college, and he came back even better. And his old college coach was asked about it at the owners' meetings, and he thinks that Aiden can, with his work ethic, with his talent, with the sheer desire that he has to maybe even, showcase that, hey, if you give me the extension, I want to live up to making north of $40 million a year. I do think that the absence of Aidan Hutchinson made people a little bit forget what he can bring to the table. Do you think that, based on what Jim Harbaugh said and kind of understanding the player makeup of how Aidan Hutchinson is a grinder, somebody that can work hard, and having come back, from a significant injury and rehab before, do you think he can even come back better in 2025?
Yeah, I think that based on everything we've seen as far as his recovery, Aiden Hutchinson looks like he's on track to be ready to go fairly soon. As far as whether that's OTAs or whatever, they may take their time with it and make sure he's ready to go for training camp. But I'm expecting Aiden Hutchinson to be close to the best version of himself, and it may not be right away. He may need a couple of weeks, or it may take a quarter of the year for him to get back to that game speed, that elite speed that he was playing at early in the year last year before the injury. And I think that maybe my expectations are a little bit tempered just because he did suffer a serious leg injury, and I'm not expecting him to come out and have 4 sacks in week one. But I would be shocked if Aiden Hutchinson isn't that same, mid double digits, that mid teens level of sacks in 2025, because I think he's going to be ready to go. I think that the time away from the game has fueled him. I mean, you talk about the hunger that he developed in wanting to get back for that Super Bowl. And since they didn't get back, he was able to kind of dial back the intensity of his rehab and make sure that he wasn't skipping any steps to get back. And so I think that Hutchinson should be pretty close to the best version of himself relatively soon. Like I said, I don't expect that to be week one or week two, get your legs back under you a little bit. But I think by midseason and into the end of the year, he's going to be rolling. And I think that he could be right back in that defensive player of the year conversation, even if it's a little bit of a slower start, because once he hits his stride, I think the end of that 2023 campaign is a great example of what prime Hutchinson looks like into 2024. He started the 2023 campaign fairly slow, and he went a long time with a little bit of production. And then towards the end of that 2023 season, he really ramped it up and got after it. And he had that big game against Dallas, and that carried over into 2024. And so once Hutchinson gets hot, I mean, he's hard to stop. He's hard to stay in front of, and he's hard to block. So I'm really looking forward to the version of Aidan Hutchinson that the Lions get in 2025.